Hello everyone, welcome back to second part of the explanation video of lesson The Fight from It So Happened supplementary textbook of 8th NCERT. The lesson written by Ruskin Bond. In the previous video we have discussed that Ranji had found a natural pool in the Rajpur where he had no friends. So alone wandering and finally reached to a beautiful pool. Later he met his opponent there. They had a fight over the pool. The one said warrior and other said fighter. Let's see what happens. After the fight, Ranji got home. It was quite difficult for him to explain the cuts and the bruises that he had. His mother insisted him to stay at home for the rest of the day. That evening though, he slipped out of the house and went to bazaar, where he found comfort and solace in the bottle of vividly colored lemonade and a banana leaf full of hot, sweet jalebis. He had just finished the lemonade. He saw his adversary coming down the road. What will he do? Will they start the fight again? No, they were not in the mood of fighting. Ranji's thought. They were not in the mood of fighting. Let's see. Ranji's impulse at bazaar. His first thought was to turn away and look elsewhere. His second thought was to throw the lemonade bottle at his face. But he did neither of these things. Instead, he stood his ground and scowled at his passing adversary. And the warrior said nothing either, but scowled back with equal ferocity. As both were tired, they did not take initiative to fight. The next day was as hot as the previous one. Ranji felt weak and lazy, not at all eager for the fight. His body was stiff and sore after the previous day's encounter. But he couldn't refuse the challenge. Not to turn up the pool would be an acknowledgement of defeat. From the way he felt just then, he knew he would be beaten in another fight, as he couldn't even stand. But he could not accept his own defeat by himself without even having a trial. Conceit level of Ranji. He thought, I must defy my enemy to the last, or outwit him, for only then could I have gained the self-respect. If I surrendered now, I would be beaten for all time. But to fight and be beaten is a secondary. The free to fight and be beaten again. As long as I fight, I have right over the pool. He was half hoping on the way that warrior could have forgotten the challenge. But these hopes were dashed when he saw his opponent sitting and striped on the waist on the rock other side of the pool. The warrior was rubbing oil over his face. He saw Ranji beneath the trees. He called out, come over this side and fight. But Ranji was not ready to accept any of the condition laid by his opponent. What happens? Let's see the challenge. Come this side and fight, he shouted back with equal vigor. Who shouted? Ranji. Swim across and fight me here, called the other. Or perhaps you cannot swim the length of the pool? But Ranji smiled and said, I could have swum the length of the pool a dozen times without even tiring. Let's see the Ranji's diving skill now. So, slipping out of his vest, he dived straight into the water, cutting through like a knife, and surfaced with hardly a splash. The warrior's mouth hung open in amazement. You can see the picture. You can dive? He exclaimed. It's easy, said Ranji, treading water, waiting for another perfect challenge. Can't you dive? No, said the other. I jumped straight into water. If you say, I will try. Ranji said, it's very easy. Let me teach you. Stand on the rack, stretch your arms out, and allow your head to displace your feet. The warrior stood up, stiff and straight, stretched out his arms, threw himself into the water. He landed flat on his belly with a crash that sent the birds screaming out of the trees. Ranji couldn't control his laugh. It was a flop dive. Are you trying to empty the pool? Ranji asked the warrior. Came on the surface, spouting water like a small whale. The boy asked, wasn't it a good? Evidently proud of his feat. Not very good, said Ranji. I'll tell you how to do it again. And pulling himself on the rock, he executed another perfect dive. The other boy waited for him to come up. But swimming underwater, Ranji circled him and came upon him from behind. The boy was astonished. How did you do that? Ranji asked. Can't you swim underwater? The boy replied, No. If you say, I will try. The treaty of the pool. The warrior made tremendous efforts to plunge to the bottom of the pool, and indeed he thought he had gone right down, though his bottom like a duck's remained above the surface. Ranji, however, did not discourage him. But it was not bad, he said. You need a little more practice. Will you teach me? Asked his enemy. Ranji was on the cloud 9. He said, If you want, I can. They had pulled themselves out of the water and were sitting side by side on the smooth grey rock. My name is Suraj. Now comes the introduction. And warrior, what's yours? It's Ranji. I'm strong, am I not? He bent his arms so that a ball of muscle stood stretching in the white flesh. You're strong, said Ranji. You're a Pahalwan. He said, One day I'll become a world's wrestler. Exchange of talent. He looked critically at Ranji's hard bony body. You are quite strong yourself, he concluded. I know you people don't eat. You must have your food with me. I drink a seer of milk every day. We have got our own cow. Be my friend. I'll make you a Pahalwan like me. If you teach me to dive and swim underwater, I'll make you Pahalwan like me. Isn't it fair? Ranji was laughing inside. Ranji's win it was. That's fair, said the Ranji, though he doubted if it was a better exchange. Suraj put his arms around the younger boy and said, We are friends now. They looked at each other with honest, unflinching eyes. The moment love and understanding was born. We are friends now. Birds got settled back to their branches in the limpid shade of the sal tree. It is our pool. Earlier it was my pool. Nobody else can come here without our permission. Earlier it was my permission. Who would dare? Said Ranji, smiling with the knowledge that he had won the day. This was all about a beautiful fight where they end up in becoming friends, admiring each other's qualities. Thank you so much for watching. Stay connected. Do like and subscribe.